You're listening to Conversations with ClubRight, the podcast where we delve into what it's like owning a business in the fitness industry and offer practical insight to help you grow and thrive. It's been a challenging few years for us all, so join us every Tuesday for new episodes where we talk about everything from member retention in the economic climate we're currently in to building a long-term growth strategy for your club, as well as stories of when I ran my gym. So, I'm your host, Wayne Heath. Looking forward to getting into this episode. So, welcome back to Conversations with ClubRight, and it's the finale season of 2. 10 episodes have flown by, and I can't believe how quickly it's gone, really. And I'm so grateful for everyone that's been involved. And we've really got an exciting person to join us today. So before we even talk about soppy goodbye, because it's the end of season 2, I'm going to leave that to the end. But I just want to introduce the very pleased and the busy schedule that Mr. Mike Hind MBE, no less, has. I'd like to welcome Mike to this podcast and really discuss what's all about Mike. So, Mike, thank you very much for joining us. Really excited about this, and we chat an awful lot off camera. So it'll be lovely to get some of these chats on camera, right? So, what I'd like to sort of kick off with is to say, who is Mike Hind? For those that don't know who you are, tell me who is Mike Hind.
Mike Hind is a baldy-headed, big-eared gym owner.
Fabulous.
Wayne, I'm just a normal lad who was brought up in a council estate, who went on to become part of the fitness industry. And along the way, I've made some great friends, made some great connections, and won a few awards along the way as well. But
indeed,
as an honest point, I'm a father of three gorgeous kids. My wife Jenny, she works in the business with us, and aside from that, man, my life's boring.
It's no means boring.
It is. It's boring. I work long hours. I play short term, but yeah. Any questions you want, just ask away. You're gonna get from me. I'll apologise in advance for my language.
We'll have to put bleeps in, yeah.
I took language at school, foul in English, and I failed English. So that's where we are with that one.
Well, don't you worry about that. It's really great to have you on, as I said, and I think it'd be nice to just go back a little bit and say, kind of set a scene, because looking back on doing some of our research before we sat down today, is that I see you started selling shoes in a car boot sale. So it'd be interesting to find out, to share from our listeners what made you start to do that, and what was it like at that point of your life?
So I take it back to I left school. Yep. Very little qualifications. Wasn't very clever. Didn't like school. Used to lie to my mum all the time until I was bullied. She let me stay off, and I didn't do very well. And then I went on to become a joiner, and that was right. When butter was made. So I served my time as a joiner and worked within the construction industry for quite a long period of time. And then I'll tell you the honest truth.
Go on.
I went on the sick and set up a company while I was on the sick. So if anyone sick, and I set up a company while I was on it. What I used to do is I was always trying to buy and sell. I was a wheeler digger. I'd always try, if there was something available that I could make money, that's what I did. And I remember going away on holiday, and I don't know whether you remember these, and many of the listeners probably will, but there was a shoe called a Flossie.
All right.
So they're almost like a plimsoll shoe. And the bottom of them, they smelled the candy floss. They were massive over in Benidorm, and a lot of the designer shops. They were throwaway disposable shoes that you'd get 2 or 3 wears out of them. One wear wore them. And I remember going over to Benidorm, and I tried a pair on, and I thought, these are great, these. So I bought some, filled my suitcase, come back home. Yeah. And then I turned my garage into a shoe shop, effectively. So I used to come home from my day job as a joiner, and there'd be a queue of people down the street waiting to buy these shoes. And
that's amazing.
It was class. And I used to drive, we live in Middlesbrough, so I used to drive up from Middlesbrough to Sunderland to pick them up where I collect them from, bring them home, load my garage. Next day, literally thousands of pairs of shoes, about 27 colours, and then about 30 sizes from all the way up. But listen, there's a story. So I had all these 27 colours. I guarantee that people come to my door and said, "Have you not got a very light brown?" I said, "No, I've got dark brown, I've got a black, I've got a white, a blue, and a green, but I haven't got a very light brown. But if you wear your white one long enough, they will become brown, trust me." But
genius.
I went from there to then I took a stand at a car boot sale, and I remember turning up there one day with a pace table,
right,
and Mitsubishi Evo was my car. And it was a boot with a Mitsubishi Evo full of these shoes, yellow box. Lifted my shoe, lifted up, and nowhere to lie in. I no longer got them out on the table.
Yeah,
100. Got them out on the table. All the other traders come over and bought them. So the next day, I thought, "There's a point here." But then in this car boot sale, when there was, when you go to car boot sale, you walk around your open air. Well, at the side of this, it was a racetrack, regular race course. It was.
Right.
And there was the cover part, and that's where all the premium sellers had it. The man who sold the DVDs, the prom seller, he had a great one.
That's it.
These had them all boxed off. So the guy who ran the car boot sale said, "Can I have one of them stands?" He said, "Oh no, they're for regulars." Right. So I'll come every day. I'll come every week for the next 2 years. So you've got to pay 6 months up front. No problem, I'll do that. So I've done it. I got the stand, and lo and behold, man, I was called the Flossy Man, and I was basically selling shoes on a car boot sale.
Yeah,
used to. I'm not going to tell numbers because HMRC they will come after me. But we used to sell. We made more money than anyone else there, and it was fantastic. Do you know what? And that's where I met a lot of my customers when, because I got to be that market trader. I got to be that person who could connect with people. And it was different walks of life. You got people who wanted these £15 pair of shoes.
Of course.
Because that's all they could afford.
Yeah.
But then I got the people come to the car boot sale who would go on a night out and spend £200 on a shirt, but they wanted these shoes. And I was selling them half the price as the high street shops were. So they would come to the car boot sale. So you've got a massive diverse group of people. It was class, mate. I look back and that's I loved it.
I bet you wish you'd still be there, Mr. Flossy Man. I'm not going to forget that now.
Search every day for the next Flossy, because if I could find it, I'd retire. Yeah,
you'd be back there.
Oh, I'd be back on the market tomorrow.
But see, I think what's interesting though is a lot of that has given you that personable skill, because you are that person wanting to help people. Although, yes, you were selling a pair of shoes, but you enjoy the interaction with other people and being face to face and talking to people. And I think that's just one of the major strengths that you have, and why so many people engage with you and what you do now. And it's almost like that's kind of most probably started earlier than the boot sale. You most probably didn't realise it, but the boot sale brought it out.
The connection that you get with people, and it was having that plan. It was being able to get on. Do you know what it is? It's when you put yourself in. It's funny I say this. When you put yourself in other people's shoes, you're almost people used to come and buy shoes just to have a crack with me. And it was class. I loved it. Honest to God, loved it. Drink the cup of OXO, and
fantastic.
Well, then I went from Mitsubishi Evo to buying a transit van, and it went from being a little boot to a van, and it was mate, it was class.
So how long did you do that for?
Probably I sold them for about a year and a half, and then I actually sold my pitch, because I started the clothing brand. The clothing brand come after that, and that's what funded it. But I sold my pitch to a girl who had a sunbed shop. She bought all my stock, and she bought my pitch. I think I'm going to say £2,000 or something like that. Wow. And she bought it, and then give her the contact of my supplier, and that was it.
It's amazing. But isn't that interesting? What you just said there was that you were able. How many people in a boot sale can actually say that they sold their pitch? I've never heard of that before. Because you got that much intrinsic value in what you created by being Mr. Flossy Man, and of course this now became Mr. Flossy Woman, right? And she was prepared to pay you £2,000 for it. It's just fantastic.
The clients took my stand.
Brilliant. Well, that's awesome, and I'm really chuffed you shared that with me, because that kind of leads on really nicely to say, well, 2011, which actually doesn't seem that long ago, but now we're in 2024. It's a bit scary, isn't it? Time flies by too quickly. But that's when you opened up Mass Body. And so what was the real motivation behind that? Because the experience, what was that experience that led you to want to do that in the early days?
So there's two sides to Mass Body. Mass Body in the early days was a clothing brand, so it was a fitness clothing brand, and I launched at the same time as Gymshark did. And
Did you?
I attended the same body powers as what they did, and they went on to become massive. I actually was contacted by with the clothing brand. I had a lot of great athletes that I sponsored. So the likes of Ryan Terry was one of my very first athletes.
Oh, okay.
I had some great athletes along the way who basically taught me loads. I learned loads from them.
Of course.
And I met some great people about body power, some great connections. And then effectively what happened when is my clothes used to be made over in Pakistan.
Okay.
The UK supplier who used to import from Pakistan and sell it to me. We had a massive legal battle back in the early days because the supplier who made my clothes actually designed my logo originally. And then it turned out that I spent quite a significant sum of money fighting for this logo, what he designed. And it turned out in the end that there was another company in America who were using it prior to me, although I had UK and European trademarks.
Oh, wow.
It was quite a sticky time. So it was at that time then that I was advised to rebrand and start again, which is what I did. But I thought rather than trying to go again from that, I decided that I would the gym industry. So I had an industrial unit where I turned it into a clothing shop and we sold clothing and supplements. And then the unit over the road from that building become available. And what happened, to be honest, the money that we had, we spent a lot on stock. We spent a lot of money trying to fight for this legal battle. So there was very little like the business. And a guy come over to me and said, "Are you still looking to take a gym?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to." So he then said, "Well, the unit over the road, which I'm still in today, is available for rent.
Wow.
If you want it, it's £1,000 a month rent." Now I had zero money. I had 2,000 in my safe. Everything else was in stock. I had stock and no capital. So what he said then, he said, "If you want it, you can have it." Now this unit was just basically a steel storage yard, so it had nothing in there. It was just concrete floor, full height, no mezzanine flooring, and effectively he said, "If you want it, you can have it." So I went to the safe. I didn't actually. I rang my dad. I said, "Dad, I've got."
Good move.
I always look to my mum and dad to see if I'm doing. Even now at 40-year-old, I still always want. You just want to check you're doing the right thing. So I said, "Dad, come down."
I get that.
And he said to me, "Come down here, look." He said, "Son," he said, you've done what you've done today. If you fail trying, just have a go." So
exactly.
I took the £2,000 out of the safe, paid for 2 months rent, and then the very next day I advertised on Facebook to come and join a gym.
Wow.
That didn't exist.
Love
it existed up there in my head. So I went for £100 a month, 3 years membership.
Yeah.
Sold 100 memberships, got £10,000. I went on eBay and I purchased as much Life Fitness gym kit as I could get, and then picked it all up. And because I'm a joiner by trade, I was able to build the gym. So I had good connections from my trainer background. And effectively, mate, I had 100 members to a gym, what didn't have any kit, but I travelled around in my van that I'd bought to sell the shoes, picked it all up.
I love this.
And opened up the gym with the £10,000. And from that day, when you know yourself, you've owned gyms, and probably people watching this, unless you're a huge chain and you've got thousands of members, the gym almost becomes your hobby, becomes your life.
Yes.
An expensive hobby, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And you've got to look at different avenues. Someone paying you £30 a month or £100 a year back then. I needed a revenue stream. I needed to pay my way. I took on an apprentice. So that's effectively how the gym was born. So
that's incredible.
I didn't plan on that day opening that gym, but I wouldn't change what I've done for the world.
And what we're going to continue to talk about is just incredible, because you look at what you've done there. You've gone ahead and done that quite literally on a shoestring to start with. And, you bootstrapped the whole thing, you self-funded it, and then reinvested as that business has grown to do what you've done today. And I can totally and utterly empathise with all of that, because ClubRight's come out of exactly the same story. I remortgaged to do what we've done, and then we've reinvested every goddamn penny we've earned to actually grow the business to coming fast approaching 900 customers and 22 members of staff. But you don't do it unless you have a bit of belief like you've had. You know, if you have that belief, you can do these things, right? It is possible.
And I'm not just saying it's because you're hosting this way, but I think that's what's special about ClubRight. I think because you've been in this industry, you understand. Put yourself in their shoes. You understand the problem that clubs, and not just clubs, but independents. And I read a statement the other day from one of the massive chains, and basically I think they turned over something like 27 million, and the goal is to now turn that 27 into 849. And the kind of word was, if we achieve this, there will be no independence left.
I think we're both aligned in that passionate bit about how we approach our business. But the story you've just said there that really intrigues me is 10 grand for a load of gym equipment is not a lot of money, is it, in today's world? It really isn't. But you've gone out there, you've found and sourced good equipment for the budget you had at the time to get the show on the road. And that's just amazing. And then since then, obviously, you've had the chance to grow it and invest and do loads of many other things. But to get that thing off the ground is such an achievement on such a small budget. You know, for people listening to this, just think about, you can do a whole lot more with a whole lot less if you've got enough passion behind it. And I'm a true believer in my heart, the same as you, about that. And that's just great to hear. Just didn't realize the budget was so small. Fantastic. Love it.
10,000.
So we've got Mass Bodies now open. So we got all of that moving back in 2021. Moving forward, you've been, you what, sorry?
2011.
Oh, Toy, I'm thinking, that's my read. See, I can't read. I can't see a word of that. I need a pair of glasses. But yeah, so moving on, we're talking about best personal trainer in the UK, but not once, twice, 4 times, buddy. That is incredible. What kind of motivates you to keep pushing those standards? Getting it once is a serious achievement. And I actually remember was that at the Workout National Fitness Awards? I remember seeing you go on stage then, and you getting it that first time. Sorry?
I lost twice. So when I first opened the gym, that's when I first become aware of the National Fitness Awards, which at the time I absolutely loved it. Tony, who ran it, and Mike Hind, I think it was class. And I went in as best newcomer of the year.
Yes.
And I went against Exercise for Less and another gym. And I came runner up, and I actually beat Exercise for Less. Well, that's a gym that I used to train at. That was my local gym. I used to rent a little room off them once over to sell my clothing brand from there.
Right.
So we had a little bit of a connection on there. So there was a little bit of rivalry. We beat them, and I remember them using, for one of their adverts, they used somebody. Do you remember they had shot that yellow morph suit on their adverts?
Yes, I do.
So what they'd done, they put one of my Mass Body vests on and told somebody how not to train. And what they did, this lad was training wrong. So this morph person whacked this lad round the head with a fish.
No.
They were wearing my top, so that was almost insinuating that people who wore my clothing couldn't train. So I messaged the owner, I forget his name, I messaged him, I said, "You've just put this advert on national TV. Why have you put him wearing my top?" So he come back, a very good comment actually, come back, "You're welcome for the free advertisements." Fine. So lo and behold, we enter the National Fitness Awards and I'm up against them.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I've been in business under 2 years. Started off with £10,000. Me, my wife, and my apprentice.
Yeah.
That's who ran the business.
Exactly.
And we went up to Birmingham. Was it Birmingham?
Could be Leicester, actually. We're in Leicester.
Leicester.
Yeah.
And I remember walking into this hotel, and lo and behold, fuck's sake, Exercise for Leicester in the hotel as us. So we goes to the night. We didn't win, needed Exercise for Less. So I thought, well, that's all right. Then it come runner up, Mass Body Gym Middlesbrough. I thought, can get in there. Second, all this money goes back to the hotel in the night. Well, my wife, Jen, she'd had plenty of Prosecco's that night, so she becomes shall we say. So she walks past their table there, put all the Exercise for Less ties on.
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey lads, how's it feel to be beaten by a lad who used to sell shoes and you fucking slapped round the head with a fish? She said, she advertisement and walked away. So that was how the National Fitness Awards started. Oh no, Jen, there's me and my apprentice who's 10 stone ring and wet, Ginger, and we're really going to go against like a table of 20 people. Don't do this to me now, but yeah, it was all banter, it was all crack. So
fantastic.
When that awards started, and then the following year, I wanted PT the year. I didn't win. I was beaten by a lad called Michael from Newcastle.
Okay. Oh, your area.
Yeah, I didn't know him. But then the next year, I went again, and I remember thinking, right, okay, I didn't win. What do I need to do to improve? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and improve. So I went in, entered again, come runner up. Fuck's sake. Well, I was thinking, I took it home. I was like, fucking hell, what do I do? Anyway, turns out that the judge at the time was like Steve Johnson. No, Steve Johnson is one of my best mates now.
Yes.
Believe me, on the night of that fitness awards, I thought he was a prick. And I'm never going to forget it now. But anyway, at the end of it, basically what he said, I asked him for some feedback afterwards, and I said, Steve, you know, what I was beaten by an Irish lad called something like Gary, I think his name was. Anyway, he said, look, Mike, he said, your entry form was brilliant. He said, but all you did is talk about other people, and you don't charge anybody. So I'm seeing everything that you're doing. You're doing all this stuff for the community for free. He said, like, it's not a sustainable business model. So as far as I was concerned, I'm judging thinking, you're doing this now, but you're not going to be here in a year's time. And it was then that I got to talk to him and said, look, you know, this is why I do it. This is how I do it. Although I'm not charging for it, for doing them sessions and publicising it, I'm getting 10 members through the door.
Yeah.
So there was a reason for doing it, and he's seen it. So it was at that stage then I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my entry. So I didn't change to web training. I want to carry on doing the same thing.
Of course.
And then I went again, but I took the advice on board. And you know what, mate? Coming runner up and not winning was the best thing that will ever happen to me, because if I'd have won the first time or the second time, I'd have been a big-headed prick, if I'm honest. I'd have just so it humbled me, and it made me appreciate when I won.
Yep.
And it was at that note then that the next year I thought, I want to do this again. So I'd done it again, and then I wanted to do it again. I thought 3 times I'll do it. But yeah, it was a massive part of my life, and I was lucky enough, not this year, but previous year, to be a judge for the National Fitness Awards. So I got for 2 years running, which was great to get an insight and to see what happens. So yeah, it was a massive.
I think it's fantastic, and that whole story, yet again, tells me what Mike Hind's all about. You know, you sat back, you thought, why the hell have I been rebuffed on that one? That's a bit crap. Well, let's have another go. And then third time, you're sitting thinking, well, what am I missing? You actually took that on board. Now, a lot of people struggle to take feedback, positive or negative. You know, people struggle to do that. And I'm also like yourself. If someone tells me something's not right, I would love to hear about it rather than not hear about it. And then when you're looking at it, you've kind of thought, I can really do this. And if I tick a few more boxes and change your entry, like you said, next minute you're winning it. And then you're a judge for the whole thing. I mean, how's that? You know, that's just mental. Absolutely fantastic.
It's one of them where it go back to the old quote where it's not how many times you got knocked down, it's how hard you can hit and get up. And it's true. There's never been really a true saying that. You know, you just have to. You don't fail when you fail. You fail when you stop.
Correct.
And that for me, that's the way I look at it. If I stopped trying, I would never have won. So that can go for anybody. When same in business, the same in anyone who's looking at listening to this and going to the National Fitness Awards. I mean, I'll always give feedback. I mean, I didn't judge this year, but previous years. But I always give that feedback. You know, just because you didn't win doesn't mean you didn't deserve to win. No, just maybe you didn't put down on paper what you're actually doing. Because what you do for every day, you don't value, because you just see that's part of your job. But actually, when someone sees it, there's value for that.
And it's interesting that Steve Johnson, you know, who we both know very well, is the fact that he's picked up on the fact that you most probably haven't demonstrated enough about what you do. And that's why he's looked at it going, well, this ain't going to work. And I can see why he thought that. And then you recognise that you could see why, hence you changed it and Well, the rest of it's history, buddy. That's fantastic. Just amazing. Absolutely love that story. So moving on, you kind of look at you started working with Dibsy. You
Yeah.
helped him to lose an incredible, and I mean, it's just, well, an incredible 19 stone. You hand delivered meals, PPE during the pandemic. You run the Christmas Wish program for children every year. Why are you you're so motivated to help your local community? I have to take my hat off to you. I think it's incredible to do what you've done. But what drives you? What makes you want to do this stuff?
Do you know what? This is going to sound stupid, but even when
Go
you
on.
say that, it brings a tear to my eye. And
No,
it's
and do you know what? That's the emotion that one of my earlier podcasts on here. If you get a chance to read it, you'll see exactly me doing the same thing, and that's because it means something in the heart. That's what it means to you, and I respect that. That's fantastic.
effectively, and being brutally honest with you,
Yeah, go on.
I do it because I'm selfish.
Okay.
And because nothing makes me happier than knowing I've been able to bring a smile, happiness, joy to someone else. Yeah. I'm not motivated by money. Money comes and goes. It's a byproduct. If I could do the job what I do every single day and see the people I see and do what I do, and not have to worry about anything. When I eat at the gym, I wear the gym clothes, I live at the gym, I sleep at home. I've got no be money motivated. But I do live a comfortable life. A comfortable enough life to be able to do the things that I want to do. I'm able to have a car. I don't have to worry where my next meal's come from. But there's people out there, whether it be in community or whether it be in fitness, who don't have that ability. Dibsy, he didn't have the ability to lose the weight. He tried everything, no matter what he tried. He failed.
And how did you meet Dibsy? So, I don't think I've asked that question before. I know I've met Dibsy a couple of times, but I don't know how you met him.
So every year prior to Dibsy, I used to run a campaign which basically I took one person and offered them free personal training and diet, nutrition, everything for free for a period of time based on a goal what we set. The first one I did, it was a guy who was 20 stone who wanted to get 15. We lost 5 stone. The next one was a girl who was 30 stone who wanted to get to 15. You want to lose 15 stone. Well, then I put it out on Facebook and said, right, my next one's here. This one's going to be slightly different. I now have the meal prep company, so I'm going to provide every single meal complete free of charge. I'm going to do all your personal training. All I want from you is 100%, so apply within. And effectively, there was, I'm going to say, hundreds of people who would email in and tell me the story, and some of the stories were incredible. And it was just by absolute chance that I've been out on deliveries, delivering our healthy meals, because I'm a delivery driver, believe it or not.
Parcel of everything, right?
That's my best job. But as I walked back into the meal prep company, this man was walking out, and it was, we have a door which is wide enough for a wheelchair, yeah? He walked out this door sideways, and I can honestly say this without hopefully offend anybody, but he was quite possibly the biggest man I'd ever seen walking.
Wow.
And I remember going into the meal prep company, it's in my business, and I was flabbergasted, and I thought, wow. Later that night, I messaged her on our staff group chat and said, does anybody know who that man was who walked in today?
Oh, okay.
Because I think he'd be suitable. So anyway, one of the girls messaged back, said, he's called Dibsy. Said, he's actually applied this year, and he'd applied last year. So I then said, somebody get me his number. So they got me his number. I just sent him a voice note. And I said, Dibsy, it's Mike. Good to see you buying your healthy meals today. Come down and see me tomorrow. I'm going to give you the opportunity to change your life.
Wow.
And I effectively got a message back off him that night, ecstatic, and his mum is in the background. And effectively, I said to him and his mum, come down and see me, and let's be open and transparent with it. And we had a meeting, sat him down, and I just said, well, look, let's put this on the table. You know, what do you weigh? He said, I don't know. I can't get weight. I haven't got no scales that can weigh me.
Wow.
So he said, what I can tell you is that I've got atrial fibrillation, and I need an operation, and they need to give me ketamine and put me to sleep. Now, the professor who's taking his operation said that he needs to lose 10 stone. He didn't tell him his weight, but he lose 10 stone. So it was at that point that I said, okay, now I need to know what you eat. And anybody who owns a gym, who's a personal trainer, does diets, will understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I said, tell me now, let's write down everything that you eat. Okay, I have eggs for breakfast, I have a sandwich for me dinner, and then I'll probably have a lasagna for me tea. And I sat there and looked at him, I said, look, let's be brutally honest. Eggs and a fucking lasagna didn't get you to 40 stone. Right? So be honest with me, or we can't do it.
Yeah.
And once his mum was there, we wrote down everything that he ate.
Yeah.
1,000 calories a day, Wayne.
Whoa!
10,000 calories a day that man ate. And
5 times the average person.
Yeah. And what he used to do, he used to go to Morrison's for his meal deal, for his dinner. But on his way to Morrison's at 12 o'clock, he'd take a pit stop at Morgan's Bakery and get himself a sausage roll. So he'd actually stop off on his way. He'd order his takeaways, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, as I got to grips with that, I said, right, okay, let's go to the hospital, to the weight bridge, and let's get you weighed and see where you were.
Right.
So we started walking down my stairs in my office, and halfway down the stairs, he got cramp. Oh, and he screamed like a digger being shot. So I had to get him downstairs, put him in the boot of his mum's car and stretches. And I remember thinking to myself, fuck me, how am I going to do this? And the guy can't even walk 5 steps. Yeah. Anyway, we went to the hospital. He had to with 40 stone, 248.8 kilos, I think, or 252.2, one or two. And what I did then is I said, right, I need you to stop eating takeaways. I promise you, Mike. I promise I will, Mike. I said, no, I need you to stop, and I'm going to have to make you stop. So effectively, I made a poster, and it said, picture me and Dibsy on, my arm around him, at the weight bridge of the hospital. Said, do not fit this man. Obesity is killing him.
Seriously?
Seriously. So what I went and done is I went in every single takeaway in Teesside and handed it to the staff. Handed it to every member of staff and said, this is not for the public to see, this is just for your staff. So this isn't about fat shaming anybody. No. This is not about the customers seeing it, but I want it on the inside of your shop. So if this man comes in, give him his phone numbers, give him his address, so just eat, Uber Eats, cancel them all. I said, don't feed him. And the reason is we need to do a life-saving transformation with him. And if you feed him, you're effectively killing him. So they jumped on board, McDonald's, they all done it. And lo and behold, the local newspaper got hold of it.
So this is how you ended up on This Morning, I'm guessing, because the media got hold of it.
It went from the local newspaper to the Sun, to the Mirror, to the Star. Where this story, when we went on there after this, went on everywhere. The Wendy Williams show in America, Fox News, it went everywhere. Absolutely viral. So, and then we went on TV with Philip Caulfield and Holly Willoughby. We went on TV and effectively what they did, they asked, what is your goal? And we went in there with all intentions of saying he needs to lose 10 stone to have this liver operation. He needs to basically be put to sleep, have his heart stopped, and when it starts again, it starts in a silent rhythm. So effectively, his heart beats regularly in a regular rhythm. And I don't know what made me call it. I don't know whether it was the fact that I was just in awe of everyone, not Holly. And I just basically just said, 20 stone, when he looked 20 stone, half his body weight. And I remember Dibsy looking at me, and I was just, oh, fuck, what about that? But
you now set the bar.
So then the goal was set. So we just went from there. And every single week and month went along. We had to hit targets. And with Dibsy, what I wanted to do is I wanted to not just show him that he could have his operation and have a life. I wanted to have a quality of life. I'll tell you a story quickly. No, when you go on TV, basically, they bring you down on a train, and they bring you from Middlesbrough. So we went from Darlington train station up to King's Cross, and we went onto the train, and the bought us a normal seat, a normal ticket, and I remember going on there, and you couldn't fit in the seat. You couldn't fit in. So I ring up to ITV and said, look, not me and the other people that were with us, just Dibsy, can you please upgrade him to first class, just so he got more room.
Of course. So
as it happened, they'd upgrade Dibsy, and I paid for the rest of us to be upgraded, and we went and sat in first class. Wow. But we went in and we sat down, and first class is mint, or you get drinks and everything.
Fantastic.
The lot, mint. So we sat in this first class, and I remember looking at the corner of my eye, just as we were approaching, we were about 25 minutes from London at this point, and I don't know what made me notice, but I just noticed a couple, a man and a woman, sat opposite us, and he was just staring at Dibsy, just staring at her. Eyes were fixated. I'm just completely staring. And I thought, I'll just side-eye him. I'll just watch what he does. Tapped his wife and pointed at Dibsy. Dibsy seen him, and it didn't even affect him. He just brushed it off. But it affected me. When I thought,
yeah, of course.
Who are you to judge when you don't know what the man's going through? You don't know the mental health that he suffers. You don't. It got me so effectively. When at that point, I just stared at the man for the following 30-minute journey. I didn't take my eyes off him. I just focused on him for the full half an hour.
Proper intimidation.
Well, I just want him to feel like Dibsy. At the end, I went up and I just said to him, "I'm really sorry about that, mate. But did I make you feel uncomfortable when I stared at you?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Right." I said, "Well, just do me a favour, just in the morning, watch TV and listen to the story of that man. And when you tapped your wife on the shoulder," I said, "do me a favour in the morning, tap her on the shoulder." I said, "Naturally, just give him the credit for doing something about what you judged him on."
Oh, it's amazing.
And the first time I'd ever seen it for myself.
Of course.
And that affected me in that step. Basically, every time it got hard, it got difficult, that's what motivated me throughout.
Actually, that's mega respect you, mate, because that makes me sit there going, ooh, okay, you've actually kind of called him out in a good way and thought, well, you transferred his negativity into a positive situation. So that actually go, hey, yeah, watch the telly the following day, because guess what? This is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to see. And I think you might want to change your mind about how you think about other people.
Yeah, and that was the goal along the way. And
well,
it was classic all the way through. But then Dibsy went on. We lost the weight to end the story, summarize it.
Yeah.
He lost 20 stone in 358 days. It was
amazing.
It was nationally. We're part of a documentary on Channel 5. And then we went on to Clan Ben Nevis within 8 months of his training. So I used to set short-term, long-term goals. Clan Ben Nevis, then we done the Great North Run, and then we went on to a boxing fight, a white-collar boxing fight, and won. So all that was within years. From a guy who couldn't walk down the stairs 3 steps without getting cramped, went on to Clan Ben Nevis, and that's what I wanted to show Dibsy. As much as anything else, I wanted him to have not just a life, but a quality of life.
Yeah, and a self-belief that he could do it. I think that's most probably when you do get to a stage in life sometimes where you're thinking, I really can't do this. But actually having you to support him made him realise he could.
He just needed belief. That he didn't need. Listen, I can't take credit for what Dibsy did, because he was in this gym every morning. He went through the torture, the pain, everything, the public eye, everything that he went through.
Yeah.
And yes, I played a part in it. But ultimately, no matter how good of a trainer I am, if he hadn't put 100%, 10% into that, he wouldn't have got there. So that man deserves a credit for what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a fantastic story to hear you reiterate all of that. That story of the train bit. Oh no, I can imagine, mate. I can imagine. And it's that bit on the train that hits me, and the fact you actually went to the effort to say the local chip shop, the burger joint, the kebab place, whichever other place you could find, please don't actually serve this fella. You most probably saved him a fortune. He's bought a house now.
I've got a girlfriend, he's getting engaged, he's living his life. I don't see him as much. I mean, I'm still at work, I'm doing my thing, he's got a job elsewhere. He worked for me for a year. After that, I gave him a job, I employed him, passed his driving test. He's done all them amazing things. That's amazing. Now I follow social media and he's doing amazing. Do
you know what? Lovely to hear that story. That's the sort of kind of thing that it's what you're made of. It's what it's all about, fella. And I love that. And it's kind of leads on with the PPE and the Christmas wish program. I know we're talking a lot about this, but it's really important about you value community and you value handing something back. And I think it's to be absolutely commended. It really is. So congrats, well done on that. Really over the moon. So the episode would not be complete, right? You met who is now our king, yeah? So tell me, MBE, how did you find out about it? It's just, honestly, I'm so excited to hear that whole story. So tell me more.
So it started, I suppose, when COVID hit, gym shut. I turned my meal prep company into feeding as many people as I could within my area.
Yeah.
With food. My gym just basically become a storage place. And it all started. I'll tell you quickly how it all started.
Don't do it quickly. I'm all ears.
I went to the cash and carry just before COVID shut. Sorry, just before COVID hit.
Yeah, of course.
I went to the cash and carry, and there was loads of shopkeepers absolutely flooded for this toilet roll. And my mate was actually...
I'll forget the toilet roll.
Honestly, so this all started, my MBE came from a bog roll. So next time you're having a morning shit, just think that's how I got an MBE. So I basically went to cash and carry. My mate was running security, and I seen all these shopkeepers. They were like pushing each other out of the way. And I said to the security guy, I said, "What's going on there?"
Yeah.
He said, "Toilet roll." I said, "It's no, everyone's buying it. They inflate the price." He told me the story, and I went, "Fuck off, not a chance." He goes, "Seriously?" But I thought, I'm bigger than most of these shopkeepers, right? So I want some. So I went my way in past all these people, and I just picked some up, took them out.
Yeah.
My first thought was, I'm going to sell these in a meal prep company and make some money. But then I thought, is it really in demand? And I put it on Facebook just as a joke. Anybody want any toilet roll is free. Give me your address, I'll deliver it. Straight up, mate, I must have got message after message. Can I be considered? Can I be considered?
No. I thought, consider for toilet rolls.
So I went around that night, I got all the addresses, and I drove around my van and put toilet roll in everyone's door.
Wow.
Well, then people started messaging saying, "Mike, have you got?" And the cash and carry basically all seen what I was doing. Yeah. And I just worked in the mall, mate, and I just said, "Look, I'm going to, for the next, while COVID's here, I'm going to spend my time, every penny of profit that I made in a meal prep company, I put in to buying essential supplies." And don't get me wrong, Morrison's were fantastic, Tesco were great, supermarket shops donated stuff. And effectively, what I did is open a page on my website saying, if you need anything, doesn't matter what your circumstances are, if you've got loads of money, if you've got no money, I will help you. And basically, mate, every single day we got lists of entries. It was all put into an optimal route, which then planned my route for the next day. Tell me how many people were in the family, what the family needed. And we just all built care packages and delivered it all around Teesside for the best part of 12 months. And then from the back of that, just random, ITV got hold of it, so did BBC, and they followed us around doing what we did, and then come the sanitizer and the PPE, and it went on all the way through from different things. But as a result, I got a message from the palace, basically said that I'm being nominated for honour. Would I accept it? And I was driving down the A19. I was going shopping, and it flashed up on my phone, and I was using my phone as a sat nav, and I thought, "What's that?" So I pulled over because I don't use my phone when I'm driving.
No, of course.
And I read it. And I said, Ashley was next to me. I said, "This is a joke, this." She went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Says I've been." I said, "It's just one of the haters, one of the trolls online who basically just." Well,
you would. Why would you think anything different? I get that.
And she said, "No, it's not, Mike." She said, "I know there's a lot of people who've put you forward for it."
Wow.
Fucking hell. Well, and that I responded, said, "Please, yeah, I would love it. Can you tell me more?" So then you put under a non-disclosure, so you can't tell anybody.
No, of course.
What do you think? You've got to keep it quiet until Her Majesty's birthday honours list was announced. And then effectively, mate, we didn't get a date to go and collect the MBE till the following year because of COVID and the restrictions.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Attend Windsor Castle. And then I got given my date. And then once I was given my date, I almost felt weird, if I'm honest with you. I always felt like a bit of a fraud, because although I did that stuff during COVID, I didn't do it alone. I had massive help from,
I get it. I see what you mean.
From supermarkets, from shopkeepers, from my staff, all sorts of people helped me. And I was training one night with my friend and Ashley, and my mate he's a very, very wealthy man. He owns a very successful e-commerce company. And I remember sat there, he eggs me on so much, and I said to her, I said, "Dean," I said, "how long did it take me to walk from Middlesbrough to Windsor?" And I don't know, a day, 2 days. So I thought,
was this what sponsored the idea of this walk?
Exactly that. So I said, I'll do that. So I went straight over my computer. I trained a half an hour with my computer. How long to walk from Middlesbrough to Windsor Castle?
Yeah.
2 days, 14 hours. Fucking, that's easy. If I go there on the 21st, I'll set off on the 18th, and I'll be sound. Not realise 24 hours in a day, so it's actually not that. It's actually 70 odd hours or whatever it was. And I thought, but I'd already made it public. That bring me. I said, right, I'm going to make it public. I'm walking to Windsor. I'm going to go and collect my MBE, but I want to raise money along the way.
Wow.
Well, I set it up before I thought about it. Put it publicly. Everyone jumped on. So we decided that we would walk to Windsor from Middlesbrough and raise money for SAFA, the Armed Forces charity. Now, I have no ties. I have no ties with the army, with the military in any way. I've got no connection. None of my family were in it. But I wanted to do something that when I walked, and I walked through different towns and different cities, I wanted to do it where the people who were in them towns would donate, because the charity, what they were donating to, meant something to them.
Yeah, could relate to it.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't to help children or people of Teesside. It was to help the people of the Armed Forces charity, the families and the people who were part of that. And that was an unbelievable time of my life, that walk.
I can imagine. What your feet must have been, well, destroyed.
Brutal, man. Honestly. So I'll tell you how we did it. And I've got a lot of hate. I've got a lot of hate for this. So I have a few trolls from all the gym owners who like to make up lies and tell you how bad of a person I am and how much I don't do all this charity work and I steal all the money. And anyway, so what I did is I set up from my gym. And I would walk for a length of time before we reach darkness. And there's an app, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called What 3 Words?
I've had heard of it, yes.
Unbelievable. If you download one app today, apart from ClubRight, make sure that you don't download.
I like the way you did that. That's very good.
Download What 3 Words. It is fantastic. Basically, what you do is every single square meter in the world has 3 words which will take you straight to that point. So, for instance, if I do it now, it might be that Wayne is great. Yeah. If I'm moving the meter, it might say Wayne is a prick. That's actually 4 words.
Not so sure about that.
Every square meter has a 3 words which will take you straight back there. So it's basically marking it on the spot. So what I did is I set up from here and I'd walk it till we got darkness. I'd mark an X on the spot with what 3 words. I'd get picked up. I got took home. I locked up at the gym and then put my kids to bed. Got up next morning. Got the kids sorted for school, got took back to that X on the spot and walked again till we got darkness. Put another X on the spot. And I did that for 21 days.
Wow.
Obviously, the further I got, the further the travel time come. So at first it was all right. It was maybe 25 minutes driving. Then it became 45 minutes. Then it became an hour. Towards the end, it was 3.5 hours. Then you were hitting traffic and it became an absolute ball ache.
I can imagine.
That's how I did it. So I've done it over 21 days.
Yeah.
And we set a target to try and raise £25,000 for SAFA. Now, including gift aid, we actually managed to raise 31,000.
Incredible.
And believe it or not, pork pie from Melton Mowbray raised me £1,000.
Did they now? Fantastic.
You know, so I was struggling, right? We sort of hit a plateau. Obviously, everyone wants to donate, but people can donate what they can afford. Right? And you know what? The people who donate £1 because that's what they can afford it. Just as important as people who donate 1,000.
Yeah, all adds up.
I wanted to involve people. I wanted to get people to be involved and be part of this. So what I did is, as I was walking through Melton Mowbray, there was something about Boris Johnson, about pork pies on the TV at the time.
Yeah.
And I walked into this butcher's and I bought a pork pie. So I went live on Facebook and I said, right, guys, unbelievable offer for you all here. Anybody who donates anything now, I'll enter you all into a draw to win this pork pie. Yeah. £1,000 that pork pie raised me.
Unbelievable.
Because of a pork pie. Yeah.
Honestly, your ideas are just absolutely incredible. I don't think you realise how incredible they are. Seriously.
That's how we managed to involve people, because people will follow every day. I'd go live and show where we were and show the differences, towns and cities. But I wanted people to play a part. It's like putting the lottery on. You know, you pay £1 to £2 now to put the lottery on, but there's a chance you get something back in return. So that's what I wanted people to do. I mean, it was classmates, and when we got there, I walked. So we walked the last day, and I thought, right, okay, brilliant. So my family met me at the final part of Windsor the day before we were due to get the MBE, and everyone drove there, and we walked the final little bit together. My kids and my family, my friends, we all walked.
That's lovely. That is nice.
And then we all went for a tour. You pay for a tour to go around Windsor Castle. By the way, if no one's ever done that, it's fantastic walking around there. It's class. I almost had an idea once I went to get the MBE of where I was going, because I'd been in for a tour the day before. Anyway, that night, me, my wife, Jen, and Ash, we booked a hotel, a nice hotel with a spa. And I thought, I've worked for 21 days. My feet are absolutely killing me.
I can imagine.
Pancakes. I thought, I've got this nice hotel, so I've got a spa. I'm going to sit down in there. So check to this hotel, get the room key. So I said, we were ready to be on reception. I said, where's the spa? Trent, in our language, I'm really sorry. The spa's under refurbishment. I said, yeah, right on. Right on. So Trent, I'm serious. Said the spa's under refurbishment. I said, okay, so swimming pool? He said, no, that's under refurbishment as well.
Okay.
I found myself that night with my fucking feet in the sink, sat on top of the bathroom with my feet in the sink with salt in it to try and get. I get a pair of loafers on the next day. My feet were like.
Could you get a pair of those flossy shoes? You should have got some flossy shoes, mate. What about?
Mint. So yeah, that was it. So the next morning we got up, drove down. We call it the long walk from Windsor Castle. So it's basically a driveway from the gate to get to Windsor Castle. Right. So when I got there, oh mate, it's flooded with police. You drive the car.
I can imagine.
And basically, mate, there's police. They've got mirrors under your car looking at it. They've got dogs in your car. So here's one for you. No one knows this. First thing of this. So I had my suit jacket on the back seat. Just got there, got through, goes up this long walk, which was a drive, which was not real long because I just walked for 21 days, so it wasn't that long.
Didn't seem so bad, did
it? Took my jacket out of the car, and my son's BB gun was only under my jacket.
No.
Straight up, no word of a lie. I've got a photo of it. And I honestly got to imagine I've got this suit on with a white shirt with a tie on. Oh, mate, I started sweating like I was red. Now I thought, what do I do now? Do I?
Oh, Mr. West crying.
This is a toy. So I'm going to Jen, put that on the seat. Put that on the seat. Put that on the seat. Honest to fucking God, mate, pardon my language, I shit myself. So this is it. I actually got in to Windsor Castle with a toy gun on my seat. So anyway, went in there, and the rest of it was class, mate. Unbelievable.
Oh,
when I got there, they knew what I'd done, so they obviously followed what we were doing. It's quite good because the Royal have their own media team, so they were aware of when I went in. They knew I was walking there, so when I went up, we basically queued up, and King Charles, or Prince Charles at the time, but King Charles was there. And what you've got to do, you're told you've got to walk up, so you stand there.
Yeah.
You've got to walk. You turn and face him. You bow. You walk forward. You shake his hand.
Yeah.
When you've had your talk, you then stand back. You bow at him again.
Yeah.
And then you turn and you walk away, and you do it like that. Mate, I'm not made for that. I'm a bald-headed man from Middlesbrough who doesn't know his left from right, who can't spell, who didn't go to school.
I can't remember half of that myself. You just told me it.
I don't even eat with a knife and fork. I eat with a spoon. So I fucked up. So getting there was fine. Walked to the way. Went over, shook his hand. I shook his hand, then I grabbed his hand with my other hand. I thought maybe I shouldn't have done that.
That's exactly the sort of thing I would do. I'd grab his elbow or something.
Yeah, like that. Anyway, he knew all about what I'd done. He commended me for me as it was. Yeah, he knew all about it. He said to me, his advice for me is to go and have a glass of whiskey. Fucking horrible. I should have asked him what around because whiskey is disgusting. But anyway, I shook his hand and then went, see you later, try. Oh shit, I've done that wrong. So I stop it, bow, walk backwards. So what have you done? But then
the thing is, though,
it was class.
Absolutely amazing. And who is now our king? You've actually met the main man and had that opportunity to shake his hand and have that moment, which many of us would never ever have. And
it was lovely. It was like, I'm not posh, I'm very common, but he almost come down to my level, I would say. As much as I tried to climb up to his, he just talked to me and I didn't expect it. I didn't expect him to know anything about me. He knew what we'd do okay. He asked me how my feet were.
Did he?
I said,
so ask you how your feet were?
Yeah.
Wow.
How was your feet? So yeah, it was class. Brilliant.
That honestly,
But
they're just incredible.
See it? That's
Sorry?
it there.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Oh, yes, I can see it. Oh, hang on, it's off the wall. Go. Oh, that's amazing.
That's actually it.
Oh, don't try and put it back on the wall in case it falls down. Do it later. I don't want to suddenly see that cascade to the floor and break. That would be awful. Mike, honestly, that's just been, I mean, to hear this whole story, for the listeners listening today, from Mr. Flossie to the man that met the main man, who really is the main man in the country now, is just an incredible story, and you should be so proud, as everyone around your family should be proud of you. It's just amazing. And it's an absolute pleasure to be part of sharing that journey and that story with you. And as I say, we've worked with you for many years now, and you've always been a real big supporter of ClubRight, and that's really appreciated, because it means a lot to us, because it's a lot what it's about.
Because you don't take the credit like you deserve, so I'm going to do that now.
Oh, go on. You're going to make me... hang on. Hold on. Get me emotions together.
On a serious note, though, Wayne.
Go on.
Gyms are hard business to be in, right?
Yep.
And the infrastructure, what you've got to have to be able to run a gym to any sort of standard is ridiculous. And for somebody like me who's not very technical, I'm not very good on computers, I'm very hands-on. Having the likes of ClubRight, and I'm going to say especially yourself, because I know Joanna's coming now and I've worked with other members of your team before, but actually having you behind that. I went from a CRM system which was custom built for us, where we couldn't book classes, we couldn't see people's birthdays, we couldn't do all the community work, which actually brings a massive amount of retention to our gym. You guys made it possible, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your ass, and you're not paying me for this, right? You don't really realize the impact that what you've created has on gyms, which transitions down to the members. Well, you're giving the ability for members to have somewhere they can call home, to be part of the team, part of the family, and play a massive part in making our nation, which is obese, healthier and fitter. You're prolonging people's lives. Yeah. You're helping people live a quality of life. And this is where people like me probably don't give people like you the credit. During COVID, you looked after us. You were great. You could have just shut business, and when you didn't, you helped us go online. You helped us do all the things.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Wouldn't have done so. Just to summarize this in your team, fantastic, absolutely 10 out of 10. Joanna is your icing on the cake. Lovely. But 100, and you should sack her. She should be getting her P45 tomorrow, and I should be, so she's going to work for me. But seriously, mate, fantastic. Unbelievable. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for allowing me to provide the service that I provide on behalf of me and all other independent gyms. I'm sure I speak to many of them. So
honestly, that's really touching, Mike, because that's lovely. It makes me really feel quite heartfelt. That's just awesome. And thank you for sharing your journey today. I mean, it's been absolutely brilliant listening to your story, and I could carry on for hours. I really, really, truly could. But maybe we'll do that over a drink another time, right? But to finish off, the advice that you've got from today in the gym for listening to this as a gym owner, hopefully, or someone who's looking to open a gym, what would be your best advice you could give a gym owner?
One half me wants to say choose a different path, but the truth is, being a gym owner, it becomes part of your life. It becomes part of you. It becomes part of your family. And then what happens is your members then become part of your family and extended family. We're facing a difficult time where there's budget gyms which are rising again. You've got gym groups, you've got other companies like that who are offering cheap memberships. Yeah. What I would say is your members are coming to you because of you. Yeah, not because of the great hammer strength leg press that you've got, or the Stairmaster. They come because of you and what the environment that you create. And I think as a gym owner, we sort of forget that, because we live in a bubble. We live in the four walls of this gym. Yeah, we see little daylight, and we get to become people's friends. We hear the stories. Our clients become our friends, our family. What I would say is just be you. Don't try and be something else. Don't try and go out there and be these budget gyms, and don't try and match them on price. Your members come to you because of you, because of the service that you provide. And do you know what? Without knowing it, you are also playing a huge part in them people's lives, and you will become part of their life. We have a Facebook group where all members are part of the Facebook group. It's free. It's a great way to interact, and we'll have banter on there. We'll put offers on there. And what we find is if you put on there that the gym is struggling, or you need more members, or you need people to check in on Facebook, or you need people to buy a bottle of water or a shake, your members respect that because they respect you and they see the hours that you put in. When you go to the faceless gyms, don't get me wrong, the staff in them gyms are still amazing, but the people behind them, you don't see the owner come in, as the owner, as the PT, as like my staff. This is as much their gym as it is mine. Yeah. Although it's my name above the door, it's our place. Our members are in name; they're not a number. When they come in with ClubRight, great thing again. They're scanning with the ClubRight app. It comes up. Hi Wayne, welcome to your 15th visit. Goodbye Wayne, have a great day. One thing I'd always say, I learned this at a seminar I went to once. I never ever say goodbye to a member. Never ever say goodbye. I always say, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they'll turn around and say to me, I'm not in tomorrow, Mike. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But when they come the next day, I'll say, how did the football go?
Yeah.
And you get into them on a personal level.
Absolutely.
And they appreciate that. Knowing people by name, having a crack, having a banter, just being a gym owner.
Yeah.
Is more than a job, it's a life.
It is. And I think that's really interesting what you just said there, because that community side of thing, I also think fundamentally allowed the independent gym owners as a whole, as the operators, to keep going through COVID, because so many gym members supported gyms like yours because they wanted to carry on paying you because they wanted those doors to reopen again. And that's the strength of a community, right?
Showed that community spirit so much, Wayne. Honestly, my members carried on. What I did, I have a meal prep company as well, which I'm lucky enough to have. What I did is, my members asked, if you pay me £20 a month in the gym, carrying your membership, I'll give you £30 worth of food every month.
Well,
what happened is they got something back, but that £30 actually only cost me £15. I was still giving £5 a month. But I kept them on board. They got something back. It was give and take, and that's what all it is. It's give and take. So one advice, mate, is make sure that your members feel as important as what they should. The kit that you've got, they're using it, they're paying for it.
Yeah.
The cluster that you run, they're taking part in it. Let them have a voice. Give the members a voice, because without them, we're nothing. So that's one reason your members are everything to you. And
100%. So big word for Mike is look after your members and look after the community, because that's far bigger than the actual bricks and mortar and the building and the stuff that's inside it, right?
100%. I could close this gym down tomorrow and open as a car wash and make 20 amount of money. It's no problem. But how many people's lives would it affect by that?
Yeah,
knowing that I have a positive impact on their lives means more to me, and they appreciate that.
So some absolutely awesome advice from that. And I'd like to sort of say, well, we're kind of reaching the end, and it is, I say reaching the end, we have reached the end. It's the end of season 2 Conversation with ClubRight, and I think we've had a bit of a blockbuster here today. And thank you so much for that input, and really looking forward to bringing a future seasons coming along, and we'll carry on listening. Thank you so much, Mike. Been great having you on team. Cheers. Thanks for listening. We really want to help as many business owners in the fitness industry as we can. So if you know someone who could also benefit from listening to our episodes, remember to share it with them. That's really important. I want to get that message out there. And if you're enjoying Conversations with ClubRight, hopefully you are, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.